Hi children and viewers, welcome to TSAT online class. I am Lakshman Rao, PGT Social Studies, TSWR School and Junior College Boys, Chilkur, Rangareddy District. Children, as human beings, we have lot of desires and needs. How can we fulfill our desires and needs? What can fulfill our desires and needs? Yes, we can fulfill our desires and needs through lot of goods and services. How can we get the goods and services? How can we fulfill the desires and needs? Through the goods and services, we can fulfill our desires and needs. Then how do we get them? We have to buy the goods and services. You have to pay for them. Otherwise, we cannot get the goods and services. So, how do we pay? We pay what? We pay money. We pay money. So, what is money? Money is a resource. Money is a medium of exchange. Through money, we can get the goods and fulfill our desires and needs. So, money cannot alone fulfill the needs of human beings, desires of the human beings. So, today's our topic is money, banking, government budget and taxation. So, children, before money came into existence in the olden days, like before 6th century BC, we had barter system. People followed barter system. So, what is barter system? Barter system is exchange of goods and services without money. That means in the olden days, money was absent. Only the goods the goods were transferred for goods from services, services to goods. So, this was the practice done by the people. So, this barter system was existed very early in the early days, like before 6th century BC. In my childhood days, I saw this barter system. I observed this barter system in my village, and I also followed this barter system sometimes. Children, there were some difficulties in barter system. Let us discuss the difficulties in barter system. Need for willingness. In the barter system, it was a major difficulty. Both the persons who want to exchange the goods and services, they must be willing. If one person is willing, if the another person is not willing, it cannot be done. If the barter system, in the barter system, if the exchange of goods and services want to be happened, both the person must be willing to exchange the goods and services. So, this was the major problem in difficulty in the barter system. And problem of divisibility. Suppose nowadays, in the modern days, as student you go to if you want a pen or book, if you go to the general store, how do you get them? You pay money for them. Suppose the cost of a pen is 10 rupees, you pay 10 rupees or any number of denominations like 50 or 100. If you pay them 10 rupees, you will get it directly. Otherwise, if you pay 50 rupees, you will get a pen of 10 rupees and 40 rupees back. If you pay 100 rupees, you will get 90 rupees back. So, such a way in the system of money, we can get the goods in n number of divisibility or divisions or units. In barter system, the making of units or divisions was a major difficulty, particularly with regard to division of animals like buffaloes, sheep or goat, and long time storage spoilage. Children, when we want to store the goods, if the goods are not exchanged, we have to store them. If we keep on storing the goods will be spoiled. More storage space. Yes, in the barter system, if we go on storing the goods which are not exchanged, if we want to exchange in the future, the more storage space is required and we have to keep them safely, we have to store them in somewhere, and more space is required. The last difficulty that we have to discuss is transportation difficult. Yes, if we want to exchange the goods, if we want to shift them or transport them to one place to another, it is a very difficult task. In those days particularly, transportation of goods is very difficult. So these are the difficulties in barter system so far we have discussed. The next concept is evolution of money, coinage. Children, in the process of evolution of money, after barter system, people used coinage, coins. During that coinage, people used the gold coins. People used gold coins, silver coins, copper coins, and bronze coins. Why these coins are only used by the people? Yes, these coins were scarce and attractive, so that these were only used by the people in those days after 6th century BC, after barter system, and they were also accepted by all the people. They were scarce and attractive. Scarce means they are not available plenty or abundantly, so that they are scarce and attractive. So, and these coins were accepted by all. Here I tell you two examples. There was a gold coin in Roman period that was called Becent, and there was a Panna silver coin during the period of Mauryan period. So these were important coins used in the olden days. There were other coins also used in different kingdoms during kingship in our country and also in the world also. Coming to modern banking, children, after barter system, the people experienced barter system and coinage. After this, all these come across after coming across all these coinage and barter system, we have modern banks. You might have heard about the names of the modern banks like State Bank of India, Canara Bank, Oriental Bank of Commerce, HDFC, Axis Bank, and many other banks. These banks are running under government sector, that is public sector, and also in private sector. Coming to this modern banking, what is banking? Children, let us discuss, let us define about banking. Banking is a business activity in which lot of activities and transactions are done, are made related to money. You might have visited the bank along with your parents, I think so. Let us discuss about the key functions of the banks. There are so many functions of the banks, and there are so many activities taken place by the banks and done by the banks, but here we discuss the important and key two functions of the banks. They are taking deposits and giving loans. Children, see the picture. In this picture, a bank is seen and an officer who sits in the bank, who is sitting in the bank, and there you can observe two sides. There are two activities being taken place in the picture. There are some people are depositing amount in their accounts, and some people are taking loans for their meeting their needs. The people, some are depositing in amount in their accounts, and some people are taking loans who need the amount. So here there are two activities are done in the banks. And children, you can ask your parents that so what activities are taken in the bank. Surely your parents might have visited the banks, and they have accounts, and they are taking loans, and they are depositing amount in their accounts. So you can discuss this thing with your parents. Next, coming to Reserve Bank of India. Children, RBI, we can say, this is also called RBI. RBI is the central bank RBI is the central bank in our country. It was set up in 1935. The headquarters of RBI is in Mumbai. The present governor of Reserve Bank of India is Shaktikant Das. So this is the central bank of our country, which was set up in 1935, and the headquarters of Mumbai is in Mumbai. The headquarters of RBI is in Mumbai, and the officer in charge for RBI is governor. The present governor is Shaktikant Das. And children, let us see the functions of RBI here, Reserve Bank of India. The first one is banker to government. Yes, RBI does all the activities of the bank. It does all the activities of the banking activities on behalf of the government of India. On behalf of the government of India, RBI does all the activities like exchange of funds, reserving of funds, issue of monetary policy. So let us discuss the one by one the important functions of the RBI. Recently, so as banker to the government, we can quote an example like this. During this is the period of lockdown during this COVID 2019. During this period, the Reserve Bank of India recently announced on behalf of Government of India 3 months moratorium on payment of monthly installments like personal loan, credit loans, credit card loans, or house loans, car loans. On behalf of the Government of India, Reserve Bank of India announced this. So this is the responsibility of RBI as banker to government. Next, bankers to bank, bankers of bank. Yes, Reserve Bank of India act as bankers of bank. It is a bankers bank. It is the biggest bank, mother of all the banks. As bankers bank, Reserve Bank of India frames all the rules and regulations. It issues guidelines to all the banks running under public sector and private sector. Reserve Bank of India prints and issues currency notes. Yes, Reserve Bank of India on behalf of the Government of India, it prints and issues currency into economy. And children, you can observe this is a 500 note, and you can see on the top of this note, Reserve Bank of India, it is printed on the either side, and the back side of this note is also you can see Reserve Bank of India, it is printed Reserve Bank of India on the other side, either side, so that the currency is all printed by Reserve Bank of India and issued by Reserve Bank of India into the economy, and it is all managed by Reserve Bank of India on behalf of the Government of India. And Reserve Bank of India regulates banking policy. All the banking policies are regulated by Reserve Bank of India in our country. And Reserve Bank of India acts as the custodian of cash reserves. Children, the reserves, the funds which are available with the bank and the cash transactions that are done by the bank, all these cash reserves belong to Reserve Bank of India. So that for all these cash reserves funds, the custodian is Reserve Bank of India. The last one is manages foreign exchange. Yes, Reserve Bank of India manages foreign exchange as the biggest bank and central bank of our country. So foreign exchange with regard to foreign trade and money sent by foreigners and other ways, all these foreign exchanges, foreign money, the reserves are managed by Reserve Bank of India. Children, the next concept in our today's lesson is types of banks. Types of banks. There are so many types of banks according to their functions and activities. You might have heard about the names of these banks like commercial banks, agriculture banks or cooperative banks, industrial banks, exchange banks, etc. Here let us discuss about two main important banks, commercial banks. These commercial banks are the banks which provide financial services. Financial activities are taken in these banks. What are the financial activities? Accepting deposits, giving loans, providing business loans or different loans. Like you can see in the picture, there are loans for individuals, that is called personal loans, organizations, business organizations like companies, mortgages. Mortgage loans are also available through these commercial banks. Car loans, business loans, house loans, all these are done by commercial banks. So commercial banks are the banks like State Bank of India, Axis Bank, HDFC. All these are taking loans, taking deposits, giving loans and discharging many activities in the economy, and these play very crucial and important functions in the economy, which leads to development. And let us discuss about agriculture banks. Agriculture bank is also called cooperative banks. These are generally located in rural areas. They provide credit facilities to the farmers, particularly people of the rural areas. Why? These are meant for them actually to develop the field of agriculture sector. So here we can see the picture of NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So this is a national bank which monitors all the agriculture and cooperative banks all over the country. And you can ask your parents, so which bank we find in rural areas, which bank, father, which bank you go to in our village or mandal headquarter, which is giving agriculture loans, you can ask like them. Yes, coming to types of accounts, children, basing on the features, there are three main types of accounts. They are savings account, current account and fixed deposit accounts. Let us discuss one by one. Generally, everybody who opens account will be given savings account. Who are given these savings account? Individuals, offices, institutions, etc. All these are given savings account, and they get interest on the savings account. Interest will be given, and also online payment is accessible through these savings account. Children, you can ask your parents, if your parents have an account in any bank, SBI, HDFC, whatever it is, Gramina Bank or any agriculture bank, you ask them, do you have any account in any bank? If they say yes, take the passbook issued by the bank and open. Then you can see whether it is there, it is printed savings account, current account, like that. So you can see whether it is savings account or current account. Generally it is printed as SB account, savings bank account, like that. Next, coming to current account accounts are given to businessmen, firms, etc., because these are run by those people who are running business and companies like that, firms. So people who are running business activities, generally they open these current accounts. Next, interest on these accounts will not be given at all, 0%, interest is 0, and online payments are accessible like savings accounts. Coming to fixed deposit accounts, these are not these accounts will not run daily or every time, because once we have some amount, we can go to the bank and fill the application form. We can do some FD, fixed deposit. That means certain amount is fixed for longer time or for fixed time, that is minimum of 6 months to 10 years, and higher rate of interest will be given on these deposits. Why higher rate of interest is given? Suppose if there is 3 to 4% on savings account, there is 7%, 8%, 9%, differs from bank to bank basing on the banks. So the higher rate of interest, because the only reason is these amounts are fixed for longer times, so that higher rate of interest is given on fixed deposit accounts. And there are some other facilities on these accounts. Loan facility is available, and if we want any, suppose I have deposited 5 lakh rupees in fixed deposit, I need amount after 2 years, I go to the bank and I ask for the loan. Loan facility is available. I have to pay with interest after maturity, and also they will deduct and give me that balance amount. And also withdrawal facility. On these accounts, withdrawal facility also. Suppose if I need after 2 years, I have deposited for 5 years before its maturity. If I go to the bank to withdraw, that facility is also there. Check. Children, check is, so this is the check. You can see directly here. This is the check of State Bank of India, the biggest public sector bank in India. Let us see the check. It's a blank check. This belongs to me. Children, see the picture. There is a date and the name of the bearer of the check, pay to, and there is a column to write digits, how much amount we are giving, and in words you can write, and the signature at last. So this is the picture of the check. What is a check? Check is an instrument or a document which orders the bank to pay certain amount to the bearer of the check. Generally, checks are issued by the account holders to the bearers or any person. He or she will go to the bank and produce to get the amount, or by depositing a check into their accounts. So this is the check. In that way we can issue the check, and the bearer has to go to the bank and produce it and get the amount. Coming to demand draft, it is also called DD. It is also an instrument or document, but it is issued by a bank after payment. It is issued by a bank to the client to pay, and directing another bank to pay certain amount to the specified party. Here in this DD, suppose if there is an employment notification, I want to apply. The fee for applying that employment is 500 rupees. Suppose it is TSPSC. So I have to take a DD. I have to go to the bank, fill the application form and take a DD for 500 rupees. I have to pay the service charges also 50 rupees, like that. So I will get the DD from the bank after payment only. So in favor of address, it is written on the DD, the Secretary TSPSC Hyderabad, like that. So it is, the DD is issued by the bank after payment only. Children, I think you have understood the difference between check and DD. I would like to explain clearly the difference between check and DD. Check is issued by account holder to a person. It is may not be 100% guarantee because the funds are available or not. Only the account holder knows. The bearer does not know unless he goes to the bank, unless he produces the check to the banker in the bank. But DD, it is a prepaid instrument, prepaid document, because we pay that money before getting DD from the bank. So that is a major difference. I think you have understood the difference between check and DD. Let us go to the types of loans and terms. Children, there are different types of loans. You might have heard all these names of the loans, because you might have visited the bank sometimes, and also your father might have told you that he has taken agriculture loan, crop loan, tractor loan, land development loan, like that. So these are the loans, names of the loans. Let us agriculture loan, car loan, business loan, gold loan, personal loan, education loan. Children, briefly I will explain all those loans. Agriculture loan, because you are all almost all the students, children belong to rural areas, you might know about agriculture loans. Agriculture loans are given to the farmers in the rural areas, particularly they are crop loans. There are different loans in agriculture sector, like crop loans, loans for laying of pipelines, loans for digging of bore wells, purchase of tractors. All those are agriculture loans given to the farmers. Coming to car loans are given to the people for purchasing cars. Business loan for running small business and establishment of a company, small companies like big companies, firms. For all these purposes, business loans are given. Coming to gold loan, by keeping gold as security, banks extend or give loans to the people. They are called gold loans. And personal loans are given to the people for meeting the needs, domestic needs, for purchase of domestic items like TV, fridge, like that. Education loans are given to the children by approaching of the parents to the banks for pursuing their higher education in and out of the country. And there are different terms on the loans. Children, these loans are not have the same terms and conditions by the banks. There are terms different for each and every loan. Terms like collateral security, keeping the documents of plots or lands, houses, jewelry, counter guarantee, all these are terms and conditions, but they are not alike, and these differ from one loan to another. And coming to automated teller machine. Children, certainly I hope that you might have visited ATM, you might have visited, and some of you might have transacted through ATM, operated ATM. So what is ATM? ATM is abbreviated as automated teller machine. It is an electronic device or a machine through which we can withdraw money. Children, we can do some other activities also through ATM. We can withdraw money, we can transfer funds, and also we can pay certain bills, fees, like that. By using, for this purpose, the account holder is given ATM card, or it is also called debit card. Coming to credit card. Credit card is also a card which is issued to the bank customers from the banks. It is a payment card. For purchase of goods and services, we use this card. And whatever amount we use, without having our deposit, our cash in the account, we can use. So this is also called overdraft facility given by the banks, we can say, credit cards. This amount, whatever used through credit card issued by the banks to us, that should be repaid on or before the due date. Otherwise, we have to pay penalties also. Let us come to internet banking. Children, you might have heard about this internet banking. Internet banking is a facility provided by the banks to the customers or account holders. What is internet banking? Internet banking is an activity which is done with electronic gadgets like computers, mobiles, or any other electronic means of communications. It is also called, it is internet banking, it is also called electronic banking, and which needs internet. There must be internet facility to access internet banking. Means of internet banking. Then how do we access internet banking? How can we access internet banking? Yes, through debit card or ATM card, credit card, and net banking, mobile banking. So these two, debit card and credit cards, we can swipe while transacting purchasing of goods and services. We can swipe and we can pay the amounts through online. And these two, net banking and mobile banking, we can use through computers, mobiles, and other electronic devices. First, before going to know the digital payment options, so what are the requirements for having internet banking facility? Children, first of all, we should have an account. We should go to the bank, open an account, and also we should get the facility of internet banking by putting an application to the bank that we need internet banking. So immediately they provide us access to access online payment or internet banking. So after that we should have a computer or mobile, and we should need internet facility through which we can enter username, password, and enter into our account and transact our transactions, make the transactions through internet. Children, let us see the digital payment options. Through internet banking, to do internet banking or to access internet banking, we have different options. Let us see the digital payment options here. NEFT, RTGS, IMPS, BHIM, USSD. Let us discuss about all these. NEFT, National Electronic Funds Transfer. If we want to transfer the funds from our bank to another bank, suppose SBI to Canara Bank, Canara Bank to Oriental Bank of Commerce. Suppose if we want to transfer the funds from one bank to another, this facility is used. This is National Electronic Funds Transfer. So, for that we get the details of the beneficiary, and all that we enter his name, details of the account branch, name of the bank and IFS code, all these things, and it should be registered and get activated, then only we can transfer the funds. We can transfer through NEFT up to 2 lakhs amount. Then let us discuss about RTGS. Children, RTGS is also a internet banking facility, digital payment option like NEFT, but it is more than 2 lakh. If we want to transfer funds from one bank to another more than 2 lakhs, we use RTGS facility after NEFT. Next, immediate payment service. This is also called IMPS. So, this is a facility, internet banking facility or payment option, through which we can transfer immediate payments, so without any delay. In NEFT and RTGS, we have to get the details of account, register and wait for activation, then only we can transfer the funds through NEFT and RTGS. But here in IMPS, we can transfer the funds immediately, that is called instantly we can transfer. Next, coming to BHIM, Bharat Interface for Money. Children, BHIM is also called an app. It is also a payment option developed by Government of India after demonetization. Through Aadhaar, mobile number and bank details of account number, IFS code, like that, we can transfer the funds quickly, easily through Bharat Interface for Money, that is BHIM. Coming to USSD, Unstructured Supplementary Service Data. This is also a facility, but this can be done through mobiles. So, condition is that there is no internet required, no internet is required for this facility. So, this is a mobile banking facility, unstructured supplementary service data. So, we can transfer through this facility very little amounts we can transfer, less amounts we can transfer from one account to another. And coming to Indian Financial System Code, this is also called IFSC. What is IFSC? It is a alphanumeric code, alphanumeric code. IFSC is a alphanumeric code. What is alphanumeric code? It is a 11-digit code. I write here like SBIN 001186. Here you can see, children, this is an alphanumeric code like 11 digits. The first 4 digits, first alphabets denote the name of the bank. SBIN means State Bank of India. ORBC means Oriental Bank of Commerce. The 7 numerals or digits denote the code of the bank. So, all these are called alphanumeric code. 4 plus 7, 11-digit code. Unless we have this IFS code, we cannot transfer funds from one account to another, like through NEFT and RTGS. Advantages of internet banking. So, children, you have seen all these digital payment options and all banking activities. So, let us discuss about the advantages of internet banking. It helps us to transfer of funds from one account to another. Exactly. Through internet banking, it facilitates us and we can transfer the funds from one account to another, one bank to another bank, one account to another account. And buying and selling is possible. Yes, in the modern days we buy a lot of goods through online. We can make the payments through these, so many gateways are there, and through internet banking we can buy the goods, and we sell the goods, we receive the money from others through internet banking. Used for investments. Yes, children, we can, if we want to invest in any mutual funds or shares, we can transfer the funds through internet banking. So then we can use this facility. No paperwork is required for this having or accessing internet banking facility. Transactions with a few clicks. Internet banking is done with few clicks. That means simply by sitting at home or anywhere in the office, we just open the computer or mobile and log into our account and make the payments or transfer the funds within few clicks, like 5 or 10 or maximum of 15 clicks. We can transfer the funds and we can make the utility bills and also current bills, water bills, whatever it is. So there are so many advantages through internet banking and electronic banking. No visit to bank. Children, there is no need to visit the bank and waste your time and standing in queues, traveling to the bank, go to the bank. Particularly children, so I hope you all tell your parents and near and dear that during this COVID, the government of India and the government of Telangana requesting the people to not to go out, stay home, stay safe. They are giving this caption. And in this, during this COVID through 2019, be at home and do all these transfer and making of payments, all these through computers, electronic gadgets, by our through our mobiles. I hope you will do so. Next, coming to government budget and taxation. Children, our next topic is government budget and taxation. Role of the government. Let us discuss about the role of the government. What is the role of the government? Yes, in democratic system, ours is the largest democratic country in the world. India is the largest democratic country in the world. As the democratic government, the government has the responsibility to discharge so many functions, so many responsibilities with regard to the safety and protection of the people. Let us discuss about the public facilities. Children, you can see here, you can see the chart here, public facilities. Here are so many public facilities you can observe, like electricity, water, sewage facility, transportation, roads, health, hospitals. So all these are parks, all these are provided by the government. These are all called public facilities. Public facilities mean the facilities that are provided by the government for the welfare of the people, for well-being of the people. These are called public facilities. And the next one is, besides public facilities, protection of livelihoods. It is also the responsibility of the government for protection of lives of the people. During the people, when they don't get work, when they do not have employment, like during summer, the government has to provide employment and wages to the people by taking work from them. So the scheme is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Under this Act of 2005, the government is providing 100 days of work, and by paying wage to them, by taking work from them and by paying wages to them. So during this summer, particularly when rural people and other who are jobless and who have no jobs and who are workless, they get the work through this scheme or act. Coming to public distribution system, PDS, this is also called. Public distribution system is also a scheme or an facility to the people who are below poverty line and for meeting their needs for purchasing of essential commodities like food grains and edible oils like that. On these the government is providing through ration shops. Public distribution system is a system, and the ration shops are providing under this scheme. Ration shops are providing all these essential commodities and other edible oils and sugar, wheat, all these commodities are provided to the BPL families for getting the goods at affordable prices or cheaper rates. So, this is a good scheme for the BPL families. For meeting all these needs, the government needs some budget, some amount, and also subsidies. Subsidies are the amounts given to the people, organizations for making the availability of the goods at affordable rates. So, for all these meeting needs like public facilities, production of livelihoods, production of public distribution system for running PDS and providing subsidies to the people, organizations, the government needs money. The government requires lot of money to meet all these expenditures. Children, let us discuss about the budget and taxation. What is budget? Budget is defined as statement of income and expenditure. That means only two things are seen in this: income and expenditure. How the income is getting by the government and how expenditure is borne by the government. There are ways of income and ways of expenditure. Let us, children, you can observe here in this picture how the rupee comes in different ways, through the taxes, through loans from the World Bank, and other ways by selling public properties, some of the public properties, and other means of the ways how the government is getting income. So, these are all the how rupee comes, the ways of income, and this picture shows how the rupee goes, the ways the government is spending money. The government is spending money. So, you can see this. And let us discuss about budget. So, budget is a compulsory financial charge or payment. It is a financial charge or payment imposed by the government. So, this is called budget. So, here you can see the picture budget 2020. Here you can see the Prime Minister of our country Narendra Modi sir and the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. And here the types of taxes. In the budget there are many taxes imposed by the government or levied by the government. Here we can discuss the important two main types of taxes. They are direct taxes, indirect taxes. What is direct taxes and what is indirect tax? The direct tax, for example, here income tax or corporate tax. Income tax and corporate tax are the examples of direct tax. Direct tax is a tax which is paid by the persons or companies or organizations on their income or assets or the any other properties that is paid by them directly to the government. Coming to indirect tax is not paid directly, which is paid by somebody and later or finally it is paid by the consumer or customer who buys it at last. So, this burden initially burden that is borne by somebody and it is lastly that finally the income or the payment of tax burden is borne by the people that is consumers at last. Children, let us discuss here some of the important taxes like goods and services tax, GST. What is GST? GST is a tax imposed by the government of India which is being implemented from 1st July 2017. This is a tax imposed, this is an indirect tax which is imposed on goods and services. Children, whenever we buy goods and services, we have to pay GST unknowingly. This is indirect tax. First of all, this is paid by the producer, then we can as customers we have to pay. Then income tax is paid by the persons and organizations. So, on the basing on their income, slabs or their percentages are there. Excise tax is paid by on the production on the point of production where the goods are produced. This is paid by the owner of the factory or producer of the factory, then the customers will pay at last. Then customs duty is levied or imposed on foreign goods. Fairness in taxation. Children, let us discuss what is fairness, what is fair in taxation. The government has to consider to see the taxes fair. What are the important things to be fair in taxation? More from rich, less from poor. Yes, the government has to collect the taxes more from rich and less from the poor. It is fair. And the government should collect more taxes from the higher income people and the less taxes from lower income people. Then the higher rate of taxes should be collected from the higher income people. Then it will be the fair one. Differentiation between goods. Yes, the government has to differentiate between the goods. Which goods are bought by the rich and which goods are bought by the poor. That should be differentiated by the government while imposition of taxes and collection of taxes. Then only it will be fair. Increase in tax influence prices. Yes, exactly. If the government increase any tax on any certain goods, raw material, immediately that impact will be, that influence will be on the goods when we go to purchase. So, see that the government has to take care of these things when imposition of tax and collection of tax. Less tax on essential goods. Yes, the tax must be very less on the essential goods and commodities because they are bought by the poor people and BPL families. Coming to collection of taxes, children, while collecting the taxes, the government should consider all these points. The government has to consider what amount of tax to be collected, what is the quantity of amount that should be collected through the taxes, and how many number of people should need to pay this tax, and how it affects the rich and the poor. The imposition and collection of taxes, how it affects the rich, how it affects the poor, that should be seen by the government. That should be considered by the government. And indirect taxes, major source. As we see, according to the budget for all these years and the last budget introduced in February 2020, this year financial year budget also, the indirect taxes are more in our budget, the direct taxes are less, because direct taxes are paid by the individuals and companies, but indirect taxes are paid through lot of goods and services. So, a wide range of goods and services are bought by the people, and these taxes are collected more, and this is a major source to the government. So, the government should keep all these things in consideration while collecting the taxes. Next, the last concept in this topic is evasion of taxes. This is very important. The government should take care while imposition of taxes and collection of taxes. What is evasion of taxes? When imposition of taxes, when collection of taxes, the government should be very careful. And the government should collect the taxes in a good manner. Then the government cannot meet the expenditures. When it does not get the income properly, it cannot spend on the different schemes and different activities. What is evasion of taxes? Yes, some people evade the taxes, some people escape the taxes from payment of taxes. There are many hurdles to the government in collection of taxes. Why? What is the hurdles? What does it mean? Yes, some people knowingly, wantedly, do not want to disclose their income, actual income. Some people want to hide the income, what they get actually. Then it leads to a difficult to the government while collecting the taxes. And it is very easy to collect the taxes from salaried people, just like as employees and other people. The records show that how much salary they get, and So this can be shown recordedly, so that it is very easy to collect the income, calculate the income of the salaried people. And here agriculture income is misused. Why agriculture income is misused by some people? Yes, children, you know about this. Agriculture income is not taxed in our country. That means there is no tax on agriculture income. This use misused by the people who want to evade the tax, who want to hide the tax. This leads to black money. What is black money? The amount or the income which is hidden by the people, which is not disclosed by the people, is called black money. So often we hear that nalla dravyamu, black money, it is go on accumulating in our country. Yes, if the government, even though the government is putting lot of efforts and government is taking lot of measures to curb black money, it is go on accumulating by, it is wantedly done by some people, not only people, some persons, organizations, firms, some companies. So they do not want to disclose, they hide, they want to evade the tax. In certain situations, the black money is go on accumulating, and it leads to lot of disturbance and lot of it leads to lot of inconvenient, and also it lessens the process of development of our economy. It is stopping and taking backward the development of economy, our economy. So let us, as the citizens of our country, we should think about the government, and whatever the taxes imposed by the government, we need to pay. We should obey, we should pay, and we should not evade the taxes. If we do not pay, what happens? We should evade the taxes. What happens? Certainly we will be punished according to the law. There is a law, and not only acts, and we have to pay the fine. Sometimes criminal action may be taken by the government. So let us avoid all those things, and so don't try to evade the taxes. Let us be supportive to the government, and let us be a part of the development of our country. Children, it is time for project work now. Children, take the project. So the first one is prepare a project on banking activities based on this topic. I repeat, prepare a project on banking activities based on this topic. Project number 2, write an essay on public facilities available in your area. I repeat, write an essay on public facilities available in your area. I thank the Government of Telangana and our Secretary Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar sir for giving me this opportunity. I thank TSAT people for patiently recording and telecasting my lesson. I lastly thank the viewers, children and the other viewers for patiently watching my online class. Thank you one and all. Stay safe, stay home and stay safe. Thank you.